Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, today we are going to focus on the February paper pumpkin kit, which is called Sunshine and Smiles. So, this is what the paper pumpkin kit looks like. There were three different card designs, and you could make three of each of the three different designs. So, I'll show you those cards because I did make a couple of those. But what I'm going to focus on today are just some alternate card ideas, some alternate ways that you can use the paper pumpkin kit in your card making. So I decided to feature the little frogs. So the stamp set in this kit has this adorable little frog image and some other images, of course, that you can use to create the kit. And then you can use these images for additional card making. So that's what I'm going to share today are some additional cards that I made featuring that stamp set. And then some of the supplies from the kit and some of the supplies from the Plain in the Rain. I think it's called Rain or Shine collection. But I did use some of the dies from the Plain in the Rain bundle. So I used actually this little die right here makes a really great lily pad for the frog. So I used that little die and then I used some of the little grass dies like this one from the set for this card, or actually for these three cards. And then I also used the layering diorama dies. So I used this die, which is like the second die in the set for this card. And then I used a little larger one for the other cards. So I used the layering diorama dies and some of the Plain in the Rain dies. And then I used some of the designer paper from that suite. So this particular kit coordinates with the Rain or Shine collection. So it is really a cute little kit and a fun little collection if you haven't seen it. So I will show you how to make all three of these cute little cards. But first, I'm going to just kind of show you the kit cards. So these are the cards from the kit, and there were three different designs. So you can see they're all window cards. So they all have this, some kind of shape cut into the center, and it's a window card. But I took a lot of these card bases apart. So basically, I just cut the card base in half. At so this is your standard card size. So I just cut it in half on this 4 1/4 inch mark. And then I used these pieces like this rainbow piece, and then I used some of these other pieces to create some additional cards. So that's what I'll show you today. But the cards were really cute. There's lots of cute little embellishments in this kit, and it was just really fun to play with. So I hope you guys enjoy these card ideas. All right, so let's start. I'll show you the additional card. I created a total of 10 cards so far with this kit, and I still have lots of extra supplies. So I'll show you all 10 of the cards after we get done with these first three. So, and then someone had a question about my dies. I purchase magnetic sheets. So let me open this up. I'll answer this question first. I purchased magnetic sheets. You can get them off Amazon, and I put them right inside my stamp case. And then I put all the dies that coordinate with that particular stamp in that case. That way I know exactly where they are. And as I'm creating with the stamp set, I can look at the dies to see what I can use to coordinate with the images that I'm using in my card making. So, good question. All right, so let's get started with making this first card. So this is just a very simple layout. I just used a variety of designer paper. So this is from the Rain or Shine collection. So I cut out a bunch of pieces of designer paper, and then I also cut out some cardstock. So these are the pieces of designer paper, and I just cut them at 3/4 inches wide, and they're 4 inches long. So basically what I did is just created like a little panel card. And so all of these pieces will lay out on the card like this. Um, And then the centerpiece here, I gotta grab my ruler. I believe it's 2 inches. So this is 2 inches, 2x4, and this is just Pear Pizzazz cardstock that I used for the centerpiece. So I like to just kind of line up my pieces so that I kind of know where they're going to go. And then I start to glue them down. So I'm going to adhere them side by side. So we'll start right about there. So good morning, everybody. And as soon as I get my glue to work, there we go. So I love the daisy paper that is in that Rain or Shine. I think it's called Rain or Shine um, designer series paper, but it's in that collection in the mini catalog. So it's really pretty paper. And this checkered paper is just the back side of the daisies. So we will add this. And I just keep going along and just adding these pieces side by side until I get across the card. I might not have moved it over enough, but that's all right. It'll work. It'll work. All right. So that's basically it. You just create a little panel. You can do this with any of your designer paper. So you don't have to have this particular paper that I'm using. This is a great layout for any card. So the next thing I did is I just used one of those layering diorama dies, and I just cut out this piece. This is actually paper. It's raindrop paper. So if you hold it this way, it looks like a raindrop. But if you put it this way, I kind of thought it looked like, little little waves or little whatever you call it in the water. So it kind of looks like water in this direction. So I thought it made like a nice little pond that we could put on our card. So I just put this right in the center. And then I created the little frog using the stamp set from this kit. And I'll show you how I colored it in when we get to the last card. But I colored it in and then I just cut it out. I actually did get the dies that coordinate with this particular kit. There were 2 dies and they sold out pretty quickly. But just a little tip for you guys, when Stampin' Up! Offers like an add-on, like dies for this particular kit, or they've offered like card bases and things like that, those items go on sale right away when they launch or start advertising for the new kits. So don't wait. Make sure you get those. I actually waited until the end of January. I was surprised I actually got the dies. I was surprised they didn't sell out before then. So I cut him out with those dies, but you can easily cut him out with a scissors if you don't have a die because he's pretty small. So then I just cut out some additional pieces. I used that Playing in the Rain bundle, and I used this little piece here, which I think is supposed to be like a puddle, but it makes a great little lily pad for the frog. So I'm just going to adhere these 2 pieces together. Let's move the frog. So I cut out some grass and the frog, or I mean the lily pad thingy, and then we will adhere this right to the card front. So you could also use the little cloud shape in there too. I thought that would make a cute little lily pad for the frog to sit on, but this works pretty good. So I'll just glue that on and then we'll pop up our little frog. So I just put a little dimensional on the back and we'll just pop him up right there. And then I added a little greeting. So I used one of the greetings from the set, the Wishing You Sunshine and Smiles. So this is just a 1/2 inch wide piece of cardstock that I stamped it on. And this particular kit came with a Mango Melody ink spot. So that's the color that I'm using here. And the Mango Melody coordinates, of course, with this particular designer paper. So that is all there is to it for this particular card. And then I just added some little milky dots because they seem to coordinate pretty well with this kit, or I should say with this designer paper. So we'll just add a couple of these and finish it off. Okay, and then on the inside, I just added another frog. So I actually colored the frog on a separate piece of paper and then cut it out because I'm using stamping blends, that kind of, the blends kind of soak through the paper. So that's why I didn't stamp the frog directly on my white cardstock, or you would have been able to see it on the back side. So that's what I did on the inside. All right, so there is our first card. And then the second card, again, I'm using the products from that Rain or Shine collection. So this one, I just started with white cardstock. So I'm basically using white cardstock for the base of the card for these first two cards. And then I have a different one that I switched to after that. So I have a couple pieces that I cut here. So I have a 1.5 by 4.5 inch piece of Pear Pizzazz cardstock. And then I have a 2.5 by 4 inch piece of designer paper. So basically, what I'm going to do first is just adhere these two pieces together. And so I adhere them together so that I can just leave like a little bit of matting around this side of the designer paper. So you can see I don't adhere it directly to the edge of the Pear Pizzazz cardstock. So it gives you a nice little focal point. And again, you can do this layout with any of your designer paper. You don't have to be using mine, the ones that I'm using. And then this will just get adhered to the card front. And then I cut out another little pond using one of those layering diorama dies. And so we'll put this on there. And then the same kind of thing, I did the little frog. Oops, let's do this. I'm going to add this to this side. I can get my glue to come out. So we'll add that little grass. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, and I'm going to trim off some of this grass on the bottom. I'm just trimming this off. So I just put the grass on the other side instead of this side. So that's why I had to trim a little bit off. And you can adhere this with glue dots or whatever you want to adhere it with. So we'll add this down here. And then, so you can see on the back here how the coloring this with stamping blends, it kind of bleeds through to the back. So that's why I never color with stamping blends directly on white, like my white card base, because I don't want it to show through. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. And then I just picked a different greeting from the set. And again, it's on a 1/2 inch wide piece of white cardstock. And it's stamped in Mango Melody. So we'll just add that. And then I'm actually using some Parakeet Party twine. So all these different colored greens go really well together. So I'm going to just wrap this around twice. Let me get my piece here and then I'll stop moving so much. So I wrap it around twice and then I tie this upside down. I think I've told you guys this before, but I like to tie my bows upside down because they seem to lay better than if I try to tie them with the card in the correct direction, if that makes sense. All right, so we'll tie a little knot and create our little bow. And then I usually hold the knot and pull on the pieces. If you hold on to the knot, then it kind of helps to straighten out these, little bows up here when you hold on to that knot and just kind of pull. All right, so I like to add a glue dot too. So I'm going to add a glue dot right under here just to kind of hold this in place. And that will kind of help hold your bow straighter. All right, there we go. And then we'll just trim this down a little bit. All right, so that's what this little card looks like. And then I just added some more little dots here, some more little milky dots. And then for the inside of the card, I just added some designer paper and I didn't have enough daisy paper, so I just kind of pulled in the mango melody. And then again, just added a frog that I stamped on a scrap piece of paper and cut out and put on the bottom. So that is card number 2. Isn't he cute? I think this one's my favorite. I just really like this one. I don't, I don't know why. I think it's the daisies. All right. And this last card idea that I want to share before I bring in all the other card ideas is another one that I created with this little frog. So I have a couple pieces of designer paper. I have a piece of designer paper. Let me tell you what they are. So this is 3 3/4. This is 3 3/4 by 4. And so the mango melody piece is just a 1/4 inch wider. So it's 4, this one's 4 by 4 1/4. So that's kind of the main focal point for the card, or the background, I should say, for our focal point. So I just matted these two out to give us a little bit of mango melody in the background there. And then I just had some scrap pieces, so I thought I would use those up. So this is 1.5. This is a 1.5 inch, not 1.5, 2.5. Sorry, 2.5. It's 2.5 inches in length, and it's about 3/4 inches wide. So I just used up this little scrap piece up on the top here, just to kind of add a little bit more mango melody, I guess. So let's put this on the top. And then we'll just add this to the card front. So again, you can use these card layouts with any supplies you have on hand. And if you happen to have the kit, it makes a really super cute card. All right, so that goes there. And then I have another little pond that I created with that designer paper and that diorama die. So we'll add this right in the center. And then of course we have our little frog and the lily pad. So we'll add that. So it's pretty easy to play around with this kit and these little, I know these are little pieces, but Still pretty easy to create. Whoops, I put it way off to the side. And then we'll add our frog. And the kit actually came with some really cool little greetings that or little labels that had this black lining around it. So this is one of the labels from the kit. So I tried to create my own and I used a black marker. It turned out okay. Not as good as the one that was in the kit, but it still looks pretty good. So I just stamped my greeting and then I just took a black marker and just kind of went around it to create kind of the same type of label that came in the kit. So it's similar, but it's not exact, but it'll work. So there's that. And then I just embellished it with some more of those little milky dots. So pretty cute. A lot of fun. I hope you guys like these card ideas. I had a lot of fun with this little frog. I thought he was cute. All right, so that's what that card looks like. And then on the inside is where I stamped the little frog and just added some designer paper. So I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. So I just used some black Memento ink. And stamped the little frog. And then I just used a variety of stamping blends to color it in. Now you can use whatever coloring tools you have on hand. But I used the light Old Olive just to kind of color in the frog. And he's pretty easy to color in. All right, so there's our frog. And then I used the dark, let's see, saffron, and we'll just color in the belly. So that's kind of like a muted yellow. And then I just took a light Daffodil Delight and just kind of went around the belly a little bit to give it a little bit more contrast. So that's it. That's how I colored the frog. Cute. Okay, so those are the cards that I created with the little frog that was, in this stamp set. So let's bring these out here so you guys can see all these here. Actually, let's put this one down here. So some of the other cards that I created with some of the pieces in the kit. So I just used all of these little pieces, the clouds, and all of that stuff came in the kit. So I just used that to create some additional cards. Now this rainbow piece here, I just want to point that out because I have a couple rainbow cards. That rainbow I got from the inside of the card base. So these are the card bases that come with the kit. And if you just cut on the score line, you can take this rainbow piece and cut it in half. So you can cut it in half at 2 3/4 inches. So you'll have two pieces that you can use to create two different cards. So here's one of the cards that I created. And then here's another one that I created with that rainbow piece. So aren't they're just so pretty. I just love the soft colors in here. And then let's see, I got two more rainbow ones because I cut up the other two card bases and created two different rainbow cards with that card base. So these are the other two rainbow cards. And again, I just used the pieces from the kit just to decorate it. And this paper, same thing, is from the kit. That's actually this. So if you cut apart this card base, you'll get You'll get a window piece that you can use, and you'll get this piece that you can use. And that's what I used to create the background for this card. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. And then here's how I used up the window piece. So I used, the back of the card base for this card, and then I used the window one to create this one. And then the last two cards are just frog cards that I created with one of the card bases. So I cut up I cut up all the card bases. After I made those three cards, I cut up all these card bases and I used it as designer paper. So you can see this is the card base I used here for this piece. And then I used the blue. Well, actually I used two of them there, but I used the blue on the background up here. So I kind of mixed and matched. See the blue background? So this is one big solid piece. And then this was the window piece from the kit card. So anyways, now that I've thoroughly confused you, excuse me. All right. So those are the card ideas that I have for you guys today. So I had a lot of fun with this kit. I still have actually a lot of different pieces left. So I still have more cards to create, but I just wanted to come on and share a bunch of the cards with you guys and give you some ideas for using your kit if you have it. And if you don't have this kit, you definitely can use these layouts with any supplies that you have on hand. You don't necessarily have to have the kit, especially, with the frog ones. So, all right, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed these card ideas. I will get them out on the blog later today. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll try to get to those later. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a great rest of your week. And I'll see you guys all again next week. So take care, everybody.